I'm Isaac, the host that will lose their train of thought about every 5 seconds.
If you also want to start a podcast like Milk and Lettuce, maybe make one even more refined than I do, I highly recommend going to anchor.fm. It's free. You do not need to pay them anything. You can have them publish it. They do have it on Apple, Google, Spotify, and others. You can just hit auto distribute and let them take care of the rest. That's what I did. That way I don't have to worry about any of all that. Yeah, words can be hard. But yeah, it's totally free. You can make money. There's no minimum listenership required. There's many different tools all right there. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And please send me your podcasts. I would love to listen to them. Thank you so much. Thank you to you, the listener, and to Anchor FM for being the new home to Milk and Lettuce. So, unfortunately, I had to take a little bit of a break. But anyway, let's just get back into the tactics of a narcissist. I don't like how that picks up, but okay. So the first tactic that, again, the nitty-gritty talked about, and the reason that I'm talking about his series and kind of going based on that is because, again, I've already made an episode based on narcissism, and I think he did an excellent job of doing it. And again, I really highly very much suggest that everybody else will check it out. And I guess this is just kind of my way of bringing him some exposure, because I think he is wonderful. Anyway, that's also why I keep just saying his TikTok handle and not his name. But anyway, gaslighting is the first tactic I'm going to talk about. Is telling someone their belief is incorrect until they actually start to believe it. Denying someone's perception of reality and replacing it with one that is advantageous to the gaslighter. Saying, that never happened. I never said that. That's not what people think. A good example, personal example of this is so my vape, and in between recording I took a slight vape break, and my vape is just a Vuse Alto, so it's just this tiny little thing, no bigger than a lighter really, like your average big lighter. It's, I'd say, about the same width, but maybe like 1.75 the length, if that gives you any idea of what the Alto looks like. Well, I had a black Alto battery at the time. I also have a black blanket. We were in an argument and I was looking for my vape, and I asked Grim if he had seen it, and he said, "You threw it." And I'm like, no, I don't think I threw anything. He's like, "No, you threw it." I'm like, "No, I really don't think I threw anything." And he's like, "Well, you threw something." I'm like, "No, I did not throw anything." And wouldn't you know, it was in my blanket. Which is very common, I'm not gonna lie. And it does not help the fact that due to my ADHD, even having like a blue battery or a red battery, I will still lose it right in front of me. I'm basing on the term for it. I think it's object permanence, but I think that's something else, so I may be incorrect on that. But basically, I have it, where you misplace things. You don't remember where you set something down. Like, I don't remember if it was my podcast. I think it was Milk and Lettuce. I think it was just my last episode, actually, where I mentioned that I had set down a bag of popcorn. I pulled it out of the box. I set it down. I turned around for something, and when I came back to the microwave, at first I forgot why I was down there. But then I saw the microwave. I'm like, "Oh yeah, popcorn. Where the hell did it go?" I found it. I ate it. I put some Parmesan cheese and some, what's it called? It's like this white cheddar powder. It was delicious. I loved it. I think I'm gonna have some more when I'm done recording. But yeah, I just forget things. I forget where I put things. I forget what I'm talking about. I forget a lot. So yeah, me losing my vape is commonplace. Even when I had a different one that was bright, colorful, bigger, still lost it. I lose it all the time. I lose everything. I never know where my phone is. Just full disclosure, I don't ever know where my phone is. I lose it all the time. If it's not on the charger, I don't know where it is. And even then, I probably don't know where my charger is. Because cords move, they're not static. They move. So yeah. Another example of gaslighting is saying all people who are this race, religion, sex, etc. are blank. And I'm going to do an episode. This is the one I pushed aside, actually, was I'm going to do an episode on my experience with religion. Like brick and mortar religion houses, I guess. I don't know, places of worship. So I'm going to do an episode based on my experience with the church. And so I cannot say like all Christians are like this. And I'm going to, give a little preview here and say that not all churches are homophobic. You can find a church that is loving and accepting of everyone, regardless of their race or gender or previous religious backgrounds. There are churches like that. I know that there are. I've seen them. That was just not my experience. and I've since lost faith. Was also kind of forced into it, which I will get into when I do this episode. But I'm not gonna say that all Christians are hateful, that all Christians are homophobic or transphobic, because that's just not true. That's a good example of, you can't say that all people who are this are that. Or saying that everyone's talking about this product, that is an example of gaslighting. It's very common. We hear it all the time. Like, see the new thing that everyone's talking about. No. Even saying, like, nobody listens to that song anymore. Like, I know I'll say, like, that's an old song. Because, I think we all say it to some extent. Something similar. I know I'm guilty of saying I didn't know people still listen to this. And, like, it's not that, and I'll say it, again, I admit, I've said something like that. Personally, I don't mean it to come across as offensive. So, and I've said something like that and had somebody ask, like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I honestly didn't know people still listen to this. Like, I thought I was alone, I still listen to Taking Back Sunday. I still listen to A Day to Remember. I still listen to everything that I used to listen to since middle school. So, yeah. So, yeah, like, that's, like, again, that's just me. If I say, like, I didn't know people still listen to this. I still listen to this. I thought I was alone. I was okay with that. Let's talk about it. Hooray. Honestly, that can be like a form of bonding, Anyway, the next tactic a narcissist will use is isolation. And honestly, this is a very common abuse tactic in my opinion, what I've seen a lot. Not even just from narcissists, although they might be. I can't tell you if these people I've seen it were not narcissists, because I genuinely do not know. They were never diagnosed because they never sought out treatment, which honestly can be one of the most frustrating and difficult things. A narcissist doesn't know that they have NPD because they refuse to seek treatment. There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah. So don't be surprised if somebody, even if a narcissist, uses that against you. Well, I wasn't diagnosed as a narcissist. Like, you weren't diagnosed as anything, sweetheart. You've never seen a therapist even, let alone a psychologist or anyone else capable of, like, diagnosing you. Anyway, I'll take a vape break during recording here. I have the wrong vape juice in this. I feel like I need to dilute it. Honestly, I pop open the pods and refill them. You're not supposed to, but come after me, views. Honestly, if you want to sponsor me and send me free vape pods, I would genuinely appreciate it. I use golden 5%. So, hit me up, views. Just kidding. They won't. Anyway, I've never seen a vape company sponsor. Maybe it's just not my don't really watch papers, really. So I've seen Adam and Eve sponsor people. I'll take a sponsorship from Adam and Eve. By all means. I'm fully into healthy sexual conversations and, just safe sex. Like, it's kind of an unnatural knowledge that I have. Probably because of all the research I've done trying to understand sex. I'm sorry. I'm ace. I don't get it. Okay? Come at me, bitch. Just kidding. Just... And I don't say that as a derogatory term against females. I say that as a derogatory term against anyone who wants to attack me for being asexual. Like, you're bitches. Anyway. Okay. I know I got off topic. Sorry. There's a fuzz on my notes. Where'd you come from? Weird. I'm also probably gonna take a clonidine, which kicks in half an hour, and I'm probably gonna be here for more than half an hour. So, sorry. I'm not saying I'm gonna record that whole time. I might, because I'm getting very off topic. But anyway, isolation. Not being able to talk to others, or even yourself, admitting to yourself that there is toxicity. Fear of punishment by rage, embarrassment, or abandonment should you speak out or tell the narcissist something they may not like. They may love bomb you, which will be next. Push the relationship further, and then show their control. They have trust issues and freak out or get jealous should you go out, so you stop going out. Then it's just you and them, and you're trapped. You can't tell anyone. Isolation also, more specifically, can be, I don't want you talking to that person. Or one that I've heard, two examples I've heard from either gender, like I say either gender being envy, whatever. I don't really know anyone else who's envy, so yeah. So I can only speak on having male or female friends. I've had my partner tell me, and not even just Graham, I've had this from others that I've been with. And this is kind of why I'm against dating too. I don't want to deal with the shit again. So it's I don't even want sex. So I'll have friendships. Thank you. Anyway. For my female friends, it's and I really hate using this term. I'll use it sarcastically. I'll say my car is a hoe. Because, it's a car. I don't use this term ever to describe people. And I hate when it is used to describe people. Hoe and whore. I hate them. I very much hate them. I think that they are derogatory and just disgusting words. That's just me, though. Again, I will use them sarcastically, but never towards a person. So, with female friends, she's a hoe. You shouldn't talk to her. It's like, okay, well, what she does with her body is her choice, and it does not affect me in the damn slightest. So if I want to talk to her, I'm going to talk to her still. Or, I don't like how he looks at you. I don't want you talking to him anymore. And it's like, it's a lot of it is also jealousy with either gender, because it's like you're focusing on that person and not on the narcissist. So you are no longer able to speak to that person or those people. And it's like, personally, like, I don't care how he looks at me. I'm not interested in that. And I have set that boundary. So even if in the back of his mind he thinks like there's something that might happen, like, he already knows I'm not interested. So that would be kind of on him, I guess. And it's like, even if somebody's just looking at me to talk to me, I've heard that. A good example is I had 2 coworkers, one male, one female. If ever I talked to my partner about my female coworker, he tuned it out. He didn't listen. But if I talked to him about my male coworker, he's like, you talk about him way too much. I think you're interested in him. It's like, no, I actually talk about her more. I barely talk about him. And really the only time I talk about him is if it involves her. Like, he was just kind of the butt of the joke all the time. So, like, usually it was she and I would joke about him. Kind of because he... I don't know. He fucked up a lot. He was very slow at the job. After he had been working there for X amount of months. So it's not like he was new. And it's not like he had something that made him slow at the job. He was just always coming into work incredibly fucking high. So it pisses us off. You can't come to work high. And like, there was one time she and I pulled him aside, and it's like, okay, yeah, we both used to smoke weed. We both no longer do, because both she and I had increased anxiety from it. So she and I, same situation there. We can't smoke weed anymore. Yeah, like, we both have rather crippling anxiety. She was medicated at the time. I was not. I am currently. Yay. But yeah, we ended up pulling him aside and we're like, look, we get it. We used to smoke ourselves, but you can't come to work high. You are incredibly slow. That's why we keep kicking you off the line. And we have other shit we need to do. We can't do your job too. That's why there's 3 of us here. And I told my partner that, and I'm like, yeah, we ended up like kind of just chewing him out, because we were in the back talking about it. We were both pissed. Like, it got frustrating. And it's like, I wasn't just talking about him. Again, when I talked about him, it was talking about her too. And he only heard, him, the guy's name. Just that. Just the male thing. And because he is the jealous type, he, thought there was something going on there, which there was not. I was cool with him, but nothing past work friend. I was cool with him. I was cool with his girlfriend. And Another incident too, where he got extremely jealous. The girlfriend was like, hey, have you heard from him? And I'm like, no, why? I don't really talk to him. And she's like, dang it. Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of him for hours and I don't know where he is. Usually we talk at this time, but it's been a couple hours since our usual talking time. She lived in Canada. And she's like, yeah, I don't know where he is. And I'm like, I mean, your options are the same as mine. All I can do is text, call, and message on Discord. And I did. I'm like, hey, can you talk to her? She's very worried. Just let her know where, when you're able to talk to her at least. Like, just let her know you're okay where you're at, if that's relevant, just let her know what's going on. And a couple hours later, she messaged me again. She's like, oh yeah, he's at coworker's house. I'm like, okay, I'm so glad he found him. And so, yeah, I was trying to get a hold of him or her because, yeah, I understand you're many, many, many miles away in a different country, no less. So you can't easily know that your partner's okay. Pill break. Oh no, it dissolves. Oh, that's gross. Okay, fun fact. Clonidine dissolves immediately. No wonder it's fast acting, but still. Fuck. I usually put beverage in mouth first. And then pills. Never again will I do pill first with that. The reason I do that is I take a lot of capsules, and capsules get wet and they stick to everything, and I've had issues swallowing capsules. Anyway, but yeah, things like that though, where I talked about him and someone else, or I talked about his girlfriend. It was me talking about him too much, and like, I'm gonna be honest too, when he broke up with his girlfriend, she blocked me. I was pretty heartbroken. Like, she and I were actually pretty cool. So, I'd hope to keep talking to her. I liked her. She was chill. So, I don't know if there's any way to track her down and be like, hey, I hope you're okay. Because I'm worried about her. I don't think he broke up with her in a good way. They've been dating for 2 years, and he was saying at work how, like, it was stressful. He felt like he was the only one putting into the relationship. And it's like, I mean, I can only see from my point of view. But if that's honestly how you feel, then you make the decision you want to make. But I think you should talk to her and try to have a discussion. And I don't think he'd ever did. It's been a couple years. I don't talk to this guy anymore. The girl he's dating now and has been dating for a couple years told me to kill myself. So I told him off too. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck your girlfriend. Keep her ass in line. I don't usually say that about women, but that set me off. Like, no. You don't tell someone to kill themselves. Fuck you. Fuck your mom. Fuck your dad. Fuck you. Fuck your dog. Fuck everyone. I don't know. But yeah, so, narcissists get jealous over everything, and they will pick and choose what they want to hear from you. That's not listed in these tactics, but that is a thing they do. I don't know where I was. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna move on. But oh yeah, before I move on, basically, the whole reason I brought all that up is because like if you try talking to someone about how you feel, you're probably less likely to. Maybe it's you don't want them to find out, you don't want them to be upset, so you don't say anything. And I'm gonna get into that more later too. But yeah, you end up like they tell you not to talk to so and so, they tell you not to go to this place. There are some times where saying something like that is not necessarily negative. Telling your partner that you don't want them going to the bar because they're an alcoholic, that's not negative per se. However, how my dad did it ended up driving his wife to go to the bar more. And she was really stupid about it. She was driving drunk with her kids in the vehicle, and it was just not okay. I ended up cussing the bitch out, and I say that to her because no, she's a bitch. She really was. She fucking hated me, and I don't know why. It's like, bitch, you know nothing about me. And I don't know what you've heard, but my dad knows nothing about me either. So whatever fucking perception of me you have is probably flawed, because you've never taken the time to know me. So, fuck you. Fuck your mom. No. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, like, I hated her. I still hate her. And when my dad died, she tried immediately. Before the body was removed, she wanted her things back. And it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, let the family empty out the apartment first. Get his things out. His pets out. And she wanted to keep the pets too. Ben was my dad's cat. Her name's Buster Keaton. We just call her Ben. She lost Ben for a while. Because my grandparents had a cat at the time. They couldn't take her. And so she went with my former stepmother because, she had the cat for the longest already before my dad and her split. So yeah, she had the cat. She's like, I can't keep her. It's like, then why the fuck did you take her? So she's like blowing up my phone saying, I can't find her. But you need to keep her. And I'm like, fine, just bring her here. We weren't allowed to have pets where we lived, and I had a friend who said that she'd watch her. She's like, yeah, I mean, I only have one cat now. I can take her. But then, like, she started, like, spraying everything or whatever. But as soon as I got the cat, as soon as I got Buster, I blocked her ass. I cut off all contact with that woman. And I found out more terrible things about her after I blocked her anyway. So it's like, I do not regret it. And it's like, I have no reason to continue speaking to you. I got what I wanted from you. I got Ben. I don't need you anymore. And now my entire apartment is covered with Ben fur. Hooray. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I fucking love her. She's weird. Give her some fucking catnip and oh my god. She will do backflips and it's weird and it's amazing and I love her. She's my old lady. Have you ever noticed when I start to talk about my cats, I go on a really long rant and totally go off topic from the current podcast episode topic? Hooray. I have 3 cats though. They keep me grounded, honestly. I love them. I gotta do an episode of just my cats. I know only one of them will speak. No, Ben's pretty vocal. I might be able to get her to say something on the microphone. I might just pick her up and she'll say something. I have one cat that won't speak unless she's in heat. She's the only unaltered cat we have. And she doesn't go outside. My male cat is neutered. We don't really see any reason to spay her. She's not at all at risk of being impregnated. So she's happy and healthy the way she is, so we're just gonna leave her be. Anyway. I told you. But to be fair, I took a break. It's 2:00 in the morning. Yay. Anyway, tactic 3. We're only on number 3. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try very hard to stay on topic from here on out, especially since I took that clonidine. That should help a lot, especially when I'm talking. It really actually helps me to just stay on focus. It's a fast-acting one, generally for my anxiety and panic attacks. But yeah, it helps, and I appreciate it. So yes, tactic number 3 is love bombing. Is generally what you would think as the honeymoon phase. They want to know everything. Like, there's no such thing as oversharing. That sets the ground for future smear campaigns, isolation, gaslighting, etc. It makes others believe that it's true and say things like, she's a keeper, don't mess this up. And it leads to the victim to believe the person they met was the real person all along. And they want that back. So, like, that's not the person I fell in love with. Or it's directly saying, you're not the person I fell in love with. You know? Something like that. And I'm sure that sounds familiar. But yeah, like, my current relationship is absolutely guilty of this. So Graham has cheated multiple times. He doesn't think of it as cheating in his mind, though. I do, because when we got together, or not even when we got together, before we got together, during that love bombing stage, I was, very adamant that I am a monogamous person. I just want one person. And I don't believe in poly relationships. And, he was like, oh no, I'm not like that. I don't believe in that. And this actually will, be very similar to the next topic I'm going to get into. But, so I told him, like, I'm a monogamous person. I hate liars, despise liars. And he's like, no, fuck liars. I can't stand people who lie. Shit like that, So it made me open up to him more and tell him more personal things. Love bombing. And it leads into the next tactic, but no, the love bombing though is like, because of the mirroring and me opening up to him, I thought it was a good relationship. And people in our friend group were like, oh my god, you guys are so perfect together. Okay. Right. So yeah, we had that like Instagram couple feel, you know what I'm talking about, like picture perfect. But it wasn't. It was just, getting me to open up. So he has more to use against me. Which, if you haven't noticed, I'm actually whispering, kind of. Because I don't want to deal with the repercussions. He knows I have this podcast. He knows where to find it. But narcissists don't care what their partner does. If it doesn't concern them, it's not their concern whatsoever. They don't give a shit. So yeah, my elongated break, I had one recording. I had to quit the recording because he came in and interrupted me about jumper cables. So it's like, don't yell at me for jumper cables. I don't appreciate it. I just asked if we had them. That's all. Which unfortunately I do not think we do. I thought we did. That's why I asked. Literally just asked if we had jumper cables. I sent him a text message. And then like an hour later he came busting in here. So, jumper cables. Bertha's still dead. Gonna try to find some. It is July 4th, so that's easier said than done. I need to go buy jumper cables today. My car is dead. Anyway, so mirroring is, that sameness, the whole I don't like liars. I am monogamous. Getting past your boundaries, typically during that love bombing stage, as I said, it makes you believe that you're so similar that you can trust them. And mirroring is done on a non-toxic level. It's how parents teach their children. You want them to mirror you. And even just trying to get them to talk. They say repeat the noises that they make so that they understand that is how we talk. My youngest, for example, is in her mom stage. That is literally what she does. Like she will go slow or very fast. It's just like, okay, blabbermouth. She will sometimes scream it too, and it's like, why? She is one. She is loud. You know anything about a 1-year-old? They have no volume control. It's all or nothing for them sometimes. It's like, oh okay. I heard you. You're 2 inches from my ear. Thank you very much. You know, don't get me wrong. I love being a parent, but I already have reduced hearing in my right ear, and I would like it if my left ear didn't suffer too. So I've literally like pushed her away, like obviously holding her, but like I like shot my hands forward, like nope, that's too close. If you're gonna scream too much, like you can scream from like a foot away. I have very short arms. I'm a very short person, small boy. Anyway. Wait, break. I hope that was not ear rapey. I'm so sorry if it was. But yes, mirroring. Narcs use it to break through barriers quickly. To break through barriers to quickly get to know you. It's used to speed up the process because you trust them. You're more willing to open up to them. So instead of getting to know someone and getting to know their strengths and weaknesses through time and communication, like healthy communication, they use the mirroring to make you think that you are the same. And it's like there's gonna be times where you do have similarities, genuine similarities. I share my similarities. Why the fuck can't I say it? Similarities. I think. Am I right? Oh boy. Anyway, I share my similarities and likenesses with people. Like I do that, but it for me is like, I understand. I've been there. I know how it is. Like, trust me, I feel you. Like, this was my experience with the same thing. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, I'm kind of just sharing with anyone who listens how I've done things, how I've seen, how I've gone through things, so that you can understand that, you're not alone. Like, I've been there. I get it. So it's like, if you need someone to vent to, I'm here for you, man. Which is also why I have my email. Comments are not disabled on anything. I genuinely want to be there for people because I give a shit. In fact, I mentioned earlier I had a conversation with a friend, which is what led me to this, and they shared a story about how they ended up getting in trouble, and like, yeah, I got in trouble for shit, and they're like, yeah, I was scared that I had some rumors, but I thought people were gonna spread more rumors. I'm like, no, trust me, I got those bad rumors. I got them a lot, and I shared my exact experience. Like, this is what I did, this is how I got in trouble, and this is what people said about me, claiming bullshit things about me. So it's like, yeah, similar-ish situation and results. And so it's like, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. And honestly, like, this friend and I, like, we have very similar upbringing. scarily similar. And it's like, again, I don't use the sameness really to force someone to open up. It kind of just drives me to open up, which can be unhealthy for me. But, But it was during a conversation where it was just one of those, like, heart to hearts, like, yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm still trying to get that taste out of my mouth. Oh my god. And yes, the reason I'm being incredibly vague is I care about this person a lot, and I don't want them to suffer any repercussions. So it's like, if they're found out, like, motherfucker, you better come through me to get to them. Fuck what anyone says, man. Like, I'm overbearingly protective of my friends to a fault. I've had people tell me something and it's like, nope, I'm gonna fight. So I fight. And then they're like, oh yeah, no, I was just talking shit about them. We're cool though. We're friends again. And it's like, well, I'm not. I'm not cool with that person. I burnt that bridge before it was built. Set fire to the river. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Oh god, where was I? Oh, yes. So the mirroring, the sameness. Like, oh yeah, I'm the same way. It's not genuine though. Like, again, if somebody's like, yeah, I went through this, it's like, oh, that sounds terrible. I've never been through that, so I don't know. That's actually empathy. Being able to feel like that. Honestly, with me, sometimes I just say that because it sounds like it would be terrible, but it's whatever. Unfortunately, I admit I'm guilty, very much so. Oh, I skipped ahead a lot. Oh my god. Not to you, to me. I skipped ahead in my reading. Trying to get back to where I was, because God forbid I ever stay on topic for like 2 seconds. Ooh, yes. Once you live together, or just the relationship goes the way they want it to, you're now expected to mirror back. So now that they've reached the point that they wanted to reach with you, they're going to start being themselves, and you have to be similar to them now. Sorry, vape break. Example would be the monogamous thing that I talked about. So the reason I brought that up is because my partner is not believing in monogamy, apparently. They said that they don't care for poly relationships whatsoever. He said that they were bullshit and didn't care for open relationships either. Well, he was still with me. He didn't end it yet, and started something new with this chick who had other boyfriends. So he was not the only one. And I'm like, I thought you hated poly relationships. He's like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna give it a shot. That's all. This is one of the things he's lied about. He said he hated liars. Telling me you love me when you're with someone else is a lie. Like, you don't love me, you love yourself. You don't love that other person, you love yourself. Sorry, not sorry. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry for being sorry. I don't know. Go fuck yourself. I'm being so negative. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, but here's the thing. If you don't mirror that, again, I don't want to be in a poly relationship. That's just me. So because, I don't want that, I'm the problem. And that's the thing. If you don't mirror back, you are the problem. Not the narcissist, not the abuser. The victim is always the problem. With anything, they're always the problem. And if you try to ask why they're a certain way, you don't get an answer. Rarely you will get an answer. That was the answer I got, was I'm just giving it a try. You know what a poly relationship is. You're not trying a new flavor of ice cream. What? And the next, I'm so sorry, this is only number 5. And I don't know how many there are. We are not even halfway through. Number 5 is projection. Overlaying your feelings on someone else to guess their thoughts, feelings, or behavior. Narcissists are extremely projecting. They're liars and manipulators, and project that onto others. The example being, because they're a liar, they're a cheater, they assume you are a liar, you are a cheater, just because they are. And of course, that's not true. You know who you are, you know what you are. Don't let someone tell you what you are or who you are. Not only are they projecting themselves onto you, they're also gaslighting by telling you, oh, you were with this person. I haven't talked to that person in months. How was I with them? Shit like that. Number 6. Sorry. 6. I'm gonna write the numbers. Trauma bonds. Unhealthy attachments in a relationship. I'm gonna be honest, I thought trauma bonding was something else. I legitimately thought that trauma bonding was bonding in a relationship around past trauma. I took it a little too literally. But apparently that's not trauma bonding. It's worse. Love bombing goes into devaluing, which we will get into later. Continuous reinforcement is where it is repeated until it's expected. So you always know how they're going to react. You always know how your partner's going to react given this. Either positive or negative. Let's just say you're a female. You know your partner's going to react if you walk into the room in lingerie. That's continuous reinforcement. You always know what the response will be. Or even like, that if you're listening to a certain song, they're gonna get upset because maybe that song upsets them in some way. It could be like that brings up a painful memory or something. So that listening to that song or to that artist will result in a negative reaction, that they will get upset. That is still a continuous reinforcement. Intermittent reinforcement turns that yes or no into a maybe because you're unsure what the response will be. Maybe he'll be happy today. Maybe if I try harder. Maybe she'll be in the mood later. Because you don't know anymore. So, maybe sometimes you've listened to that song without any reaction. Maybe he reacts sometimes. You don't know. Where was I? Oh yeah, flowers. Like, let's say they give you like a bouquet of flowers after ghosting you. Tenderness and compassion after gaslighting you. Or a big gift after abuse. And I know that'll probably upset some people. I'll probably feel it. But like, let's say your boyfriend hit you. He beat you. And there's no gentle way of saying that. He's a piece of shit. So, you guys gonna fight? He punches you, storms out of the house. 2 hours later, he comes back with like the new phone you always wanted. That is abuse. Especially when you know it might happen again. It's not the first time he's done that. It's not the first time he's laid hands on you. This is a very extreme example, but that's what it is. There are many love bombs after an abusive behavior. That clonidine is also kicking in. I am so sorry. I feel it in my goddamn head. What? That's gonna be a rough finish. Remove the paper. Bye. I think we're about a third of the way through now. Yay. Say about the number. So 7 is triangulation. In a family setting, it can look like comparing to that golden child. Why can't you be more like Frankie? Frankie is a straight A student. Why can't you get good grades like Frankie? Something like that. The why or motivation is what narcissists use to divide and control, to solve the problem and be the hero. So, they'll say things like, you should have listened to me. I have no idea how much time passed in that time. I just kind of blanked out. But yeah, I think that was actually a really good way of explaining it was comparing it to the golden child scenario. Number 8 is eggshells, and I know a lot of people are familiar with this one too. Being very careful with your words or actions so they don't react negatively. Usually, right after love bombing, it's their form of boundaries. Rather ironically, but they think that it's normal. They think like everybody's like this. If your boundaries are crossed and you react, you're the one overreacting. You're the one being sensitive, but they don't react the same according, to them. Sorry, I spaced out for a sec. No, it's always the fault of the victim for upsetting them and ruining the whole day.
Boys, I hope you're having a fantastic morning, day, afternoon, evening, night, when you're listening to this. Have a great